All right, so I'm going to help you navigate sort of these food webs. Just a couple quick notes. Again, you can only move backwards against arrows until you can't move backwards anymore. When you can't move backwards anymore, you know that you're a producer. Also, for example, people. I know that many of us know that they're omnivores, but every time I ask you about this, it's specific to the food web you are looking at. So, for example, in this case, people are eating sea urchins, and people are eating crabs. People are not eating producers. How do I know this is a producer? Because I can't move backwards anymore. Because I can move backwards here and here, these are not producers, these are consumers. So in this case, people are carnivores. Again, I get it. We know that people are omnivores, but in this case, people are carnivores. All right. So let's start with the first one. So this is block A, so food web A. What about the phytoplankton over here? Can I move backwards? No. So that means that they're at a 0 level because there's no moves that can be made anymore. So are they a producer, an herbivore, a carnivore, or an omnivore? Anytime it's a 0, then that automatically makes it a producer. If you can't move backwards like seaweed and this seed lettuce, it's a producer. Can't move backwards. You're already at the end of the line. All right, let's take a look at the sea urchin. How many moves can I make backwards against the arrow? 1. Again, I don't go 1, 2. Again, you can only move backwards 1. So this, in this case, it is a first level consumer. Now, is it an herbivore, a carnivore, or an omnivore? Well, in this case, it is only eating producers. So if it's only eating producers or autotrophs, it is an herbivore. All right, let's take a look right here at the common scooter. So how many moves can I make back to the beginning where I can't move anymore? 1, 2. That means that this one, and we always start off simple, this is a second level consumer. All right, now, is it a producer? No, because it's not at the end of the line. Is it an herbivore? No, because it's not eating this. Is it a carnivore? Yeah, maybe, because it's eating this. But is it eating an animal and a producer? No. Since it's only eating other animals, we're going to call this a carnivore. All right, I'm going to let you do the basking shark. So again, basking shark, again, just think, okay, how many moves backwards and what is it eating? Okay, let's move on to number 2. Well, not number 2, letter B. Okay, so let's start off with the blue whale. Okay, how many times can we move backwards? All right, so in this particular food web, we can go 1, 2. Notice I can only make one move back here, and I can only make one move back here. So in this particular food web, we would call the blue whale a second level consumer. All right. In this case, is it a carnivore or is it an omnivore? Is it a producer? Obviously not a producer. Producers are at the very bottom or at the very end. So that means that it's eating this thing. Now, is this thing an animal? Yeah, because it's eating producers. So is it eating this and phytoplankton? No. So we're going to call this a carnivore. All right, let's take a look at the elephant seal. All right, elephant seal. Can move backwards once. Again, there's only one arrow backwards. So 1, 2, 3. So this would be a third level consumer. Again, what's it eating? In this case, it's only eating squid in this example. So it would be considered a carnivore. Like that. So you can do the same thing with the krill. Again, just that many moves back. And then since it's only eating phytoplankton, it's only eating a producer. That means that the krill, I'm not going to do the number for you, but the krill's an herbivore. Like that. Phytoplankton, again, no moves backwards. And since there's no move backwards, it tells you what it is. Last one, killer whale. So killer whale, I'm going to help you out here because now we have multiple paths. You got to check this path, and this path for the longest one. So let's try this one. So I can go back 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's 4. Let me try the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one also leads me to 4. Okay, what about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's another path I need to take a look at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's actually another path, so that's 5. So I got a 5 going. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 5. So again, the higher up you are with multiple arrows, you're going to need to check. So on this one, like I said, I'm helping you out with the answer. We are looking at a 5th level consumer because we tried to find the longest possible path. Okay, so what is it eating? Okay, in this case, it's eating an animal here, animal here, animal here. So it's a carnivore. All right, let's take a look at letter C next. Notice as we move up, they are getting a little bit more complicated. Okay, so let's start off with phytoplankton. So we've got to find phytoplankton. It's way over here at the bottom. Are there any arrows moving back? No. So we know that this is a 0 level. Since it's a producer or a 0 level, it's just a producer. All right, what about the arrowworm? So look, the arrowworm, again, there's 2 paths, so we got to check both. So 1, 2. All right, is there a longer path? 1, 2, 3. Okay, but there's another path. 1, 2. So the longest path for the arrowworm in this case is 3. Okay, now is the arrowworm a producer? No. Is it an herbivore? Is it only eating a producer? No. So your next 2 choices are carnivore or omnivore. So does the arrowworm even eat phytoplankton? And the answer is no. So it's eating this, which is an animal, and it's eating this, which is an animal, so that makes the arrowworm a carnivore. All right, next up, the baleen whale. So baleen whale, again, 1, 2. There's only 2. There's no branches here, so you're just going back 2. And then here, again, is it eating producers? No. So it's not an herbivore. It's not a producer. So that means it's either a carnivore and an omnivore, or an omnivore. Since it's not eating producers at all, then that means, again, this is a carnivore. All right, I'm going to leave you for other seals. So other seals on this one, just pay attention, okay, as you move through the list. So again, you're starting here, and then this goes back 1, but you have multiple paths here, so you can track it this way or this way. If you go here, then you got to follow this path and this path. Once you get here, you got to check this one and this one to find you the longest possible path. And then again, since seals, again, this one's easy. Since it's only eating fish, then it's a carnivore. So like I said, this one is pretty straightforward. The number, though, I'm going to let you find the number on this one. All right, finally, letter D. This is kind of the, it's not necessarily tough. It's a lot. This one, you got to be careful not to fall into an infinite loop. And I'll show you where you can end up in an infinite loop. So let's just say fish, right? I always told you move backwards against the arrow. So look, backwards to the squid, all right? And then you can move backwards this way. But then you can move backwards this way, and backwards this way, and backwards this way, and backwards. Basically, you get stuck in an infinite loop right here. So in order to prevent that, if you go backwards here and then come back, that's it. Stop. Don't go back into the loop again. So you got to come out of the loop either this way or this way or this way. So again, don't keep going into an infinite loop like this. All right, so let's put it into practice. This one's asking about the squid. So we're going to get right into that loop. Again, you can move backwards this way, or this way. And again, you're going to have to check each path. So let's start off with one that is incorrect. So this is not the longest path. You can go 1, 2. Now there is a much longer path here, but I just want to show you again going backwards. All right, let's try another one. So let's go 1, 2. Again, there's still going to be other longer paths available. So this is one of the ones where you're going to go into the loop, but you don't want to stay in there forever. So like 1, you could come back this way. 2, don't go back in. 3, 4. So already by going into that loop, we can have a squid be a 4th level. But let's check others. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we got 5. Try it again. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. So using this loop to go in and then come back out, the highest number I can get is a 5. So again, let's track it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can get a 5th level consumer for the squid. Again, if you get into that loop, they say you can go in and come out, just don't stay in there. All right, so next up we're looking at something like, and see from here, I'm guessing you can tell whether it's a carnivore, producer, herbivore, and so on. Next, we're looking for the penguins. Now, I'm not going to do the full route for you, but I will say, look, you're going to enter in this way or this way. If you do go this way, remember, you can go into that loop again. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and like come back out of that loop. Just don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like don't stay in the loop. Just go in once. So 1. Again, I'm not moving with this one because I don't move with arrows. I move against arrows. 1, 2, 3, and then check the other ones. 4, 5. Make sure to check this path. Make sure you check that path. Again, small tooth whales. Listen, you're going to run into the same thing. As you go here, this is going to take a lot. So you're going to check this path, which again is going to lead to the squid. You can go into the loop and then come out of the loop. If you go this way, you're going to hit the squid again, go into the loop, out of the loop. If you go this way to penguin, you're going to go to the squid, go into the loop, out of the loop. I'm going to give you the heads up. This going into the loop gives you like an extra 1. So either way, check all the other ones. So like, because you got to check this path, you got to check that path for the killer whale. It is a lot. I get it. I would never give you this on the test. Last part is this over here. Super simple. It tells you how many organisms you need in each of the boxes. Here you need 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, and 4 things. I just need you to create a simple food chain. So like for this one, you could do like elephant seal, squid, zooplankton, plankton if you wanted. You could do small tooth whales, baleen whale, krill, phytoplankton. You could do small tooth whale, penguin, squid, fish, like that. So just pull out one food chain, and you're going to do the same thing for the others. Just pull out one food chain out of this food web.